Braden,
How's it going?
welcome to More or Less.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
How are you feeling today?
I feel great. I'm in the middle of my first tour ever, supporting Cian Ducrot, and it's incredible. I feel just so good every day, and it feels like I'm doing what I'm like supposed to be doing, which is nice.
Like finding your sense of purpose.
Yeah, like a lot. Like I've always wanted to be on the road, and I felt like I'm built for the road. And now that I'm actually doing it, like it feels incredible. And I'm glad that what I thought it would be like is like very similar to what I thought it would be like, because a lot of things just haven't felt that way. And so I'm really pumped that it feels like I feel like it should feel.
I want to talk a lot about that. I have a lot of notes about that. But our follow-up question is always, what do you need more of and what do you need less of? Could be an emotion, a word, a feeling.
On tour or just in general?
In general, in this moment.
In this moment, I think I need more communication with my loved ones. I think that I am somebody who gets very dialed into what I'm doing, and I forget what's not right in front of me. And so I think that I need to keep in touch with the people that are the most important to me. And I think that I need less of I think less like anxiety is a bad way to put it, but less worry about what people think about me as I'm out on the road and as I'm being perceived every day by new people, and I'm playing shows, and all of it is kind of like, let's make sure that these people have the best time. And I can notice myself really wanting to give the best show that I can, instead of just being like, how do I feel on stage, you know? And so I think just zooming out of what everybody else thinks about me is probably the most important thing for me right now.
Interesting you say that, because prior to us recording, you were mentioning that all the mentions and DMs were getting into your hidden DMs, but were you looking at that as a sense of validation? Were you waiting for people to let you know their thoughts on the show?
Absolutely. And yeah, so I'll give a little background just so that they know what we're
give
talking
us
about.
context.
Yeah, so I found out today that my DMs had been hidden from me. And so I was on tour and I was like doing the shows, and normally people will like tag the opener in 10. Like I've opened a couple other shows before, and you'll get tagged in a bunch of stuff, and nobody was tagging me. Nothing was happening. Nobody's hitting me up in the DM. And I'm like, what is happening? Like, do people not fuck with my show? Like, do they not care about me at all? And so today I found in my hidden, there's like a bunch of people hitting me up, and I feel great about that. But it's also kind of a wake up call where I'm like, I've been really in my head about this. I shouldn't be so in my head. And the fact that I feel so good about it going the opposite way is also kind of a bad sign. You know what I mean? So that's what we're talking about.
Okay, so I want to get into that, because clearly your rise to fame was through TikTok. How, prior to Chronically Cautious taking off, were you someone that was obsessive about comments and likes? Were you passive about it? What was your relationship to commentary?
I loved it. And for me, I've been blessed to have had overwhelmingly positive experiences with comments and likes and stuff. I didn't get that much hate, and I found that hate comments were funny. When there's like 1 out of 50 is hate, you're like, okay, it doesn't matter. Like everyone disagrees with you, so it's fine. But I was never too focused on it. But it definitely helped fuel me. Like when nobody's really paying that much attention, and you have a couple regular people who are like, this has really changed my life. Like this song really helped me in this way. Like all of those like things where people would talk about how personal it was to them really kept me going. And all of the like, love this. It's like, cool. I'm glad you love it. But it doesn't, like the comments that are like, this just happened to me and I listen to this song because it makes me feel this way. I'm like, that is everything that I like. That is what would drive me forward. And it would take one of those a week to like really keep me going. But I've always tried not to put too much emphasis on it. And I think that over time, it just kind of creeps into your mind.
Yeah, so those more wordy comments hold more value for you.
I think so. More personal experiences, more examples of how it's actually affected it. 'Cause anybody can be like, I love your music, and they've never heard a single song. You know, like you never know who's just, you know. But yeah.
Have you ever been that person that does that for another artist, like comments on their stuff, like really lengthy, meaningful comments?
I've DM'd artists, things like that before. I've never left it in the comment section because I'm afraid that people that I know will see it.
Gotcha.
But that's also part of why I appreciate it so much, is that it's not something that I've necessarily done. But yeah, definitely anything heartfelt is you can feel it as soon as it's heartfelt, and like the real life examples pull you into that a lot. And I have definitely done that with other artists.
What has it been like meeting people in person now? Because now you're on the road, so you're meeting fans face to face, I'm sure, after the set.
Yeah.
What has that feeling been like? These days, we can all use more energy, and Mind Plus Beauty's Wellness Facial Oils will give you the energy boost you need. So whether you're heading off to exercise, going for a run, or just having a busy day, simply add the Beauty of Energy oil to your face and experience more gain, less pain. It's the all-natural way to enhance your energy level, and it's made for everyone. Good for your face and good for you. Available with free shipping at mindplusbeauty.com. That's mind, P-L-U-S, beauty.com. Because now you're on the road, so you're meeting fans face to face, I'm sure after the set.
Yeah.
What has that feeling been like?
It's lovely. Like, I love it so much. I'm very much an in-person person. And for so long, it's just been faces on screens. And that's also cool. But meeting people in person, giving a hug, I'm a huge hugger. Giving somebody a hug and chatting with them for like 30 seconds about just whatever it is that they want to talk about is so much fun. And it makes it feel so real and so like natural in a weird way. Like it's really good. And I feel like I'm in a great mental state because everything is becoming real in front of me right now.
Yeah, because I'm sure for so long, like you were watching it through a screen, but it doesn't feel tangible when, like, do you equate, let's say, okay, 28 million streams, right? Mm-hmm. Do you believe that's 28 million people? Like, can you fathom that of that many people or millions of people streaming your music?
I can't. It's past a certain point, it's unfathomable. And for me, when everything blew up for me after the first day, like the first time I posted Chronically Cautious, it got 50,000 views on TikTok, unreal. Like within 2 hours. And I was freaking out and that felt so good. And it had all of the rush that I was expecting. And then past that point, it was like like I couldn't comprehend it. And it was just like, it felt less, like past a certain point, everything feels the same. And it's really just like the personal aspect of how it's actually affected people's lives is all that matters. But that number on the screen being bigger than you thought it would be lasts like this long, you know?
Wow. So then how do you keep going?
I think it's the emotion in the music that I'm making and the emotion that it invokes in people who hear it is really what keeps me going. And really what it's all about. Like, I feel whenever there's a song that connects with people, even if it doesn't get the most streams, but it really touches somebody's life, I feel like that makes me feel understood because I write about my most troubling experiences and my saddest. My songs kind of like confessions a lot of the time. And when somebody identifies with that confession, that just makes it feel like I'm doing more than just making a song that's getting streamed. It feels like I'm actually connecting with someone on a personal level.
Yeah, one of the themes I've noticed a lot in your music is around stress.
Yes.
How does stress show up in your daily life? Because I can only imagine the stress before Chronically Cautious, right? Trying to make it in music to now, even like being on your first tour.
Yeah.
How does stress show up for you?
That's a great question. Stress it's just a lingering thing for me. It's not something that ever goes away. I put a lot of pressure on myself. And so stress for me, I stress out the most about the things that are in my control that I don't do correctly. So for me, I find it's easier for myself to not give myself a hard time for a song not doing as many streams as another song or something like that. But I stress myself out the most where I'm like, if I have a song that I deeply care about and I don't promote it as hard as I can on social media and I don't put the work behind it, I don't have visuals that I care about for it, and I don't put the work to make that song be a success, I blame myself for that. And I stress a lot about the regret of not having tried. But if I've given my full energy and it doesn't go according to plan, that's less stressful for me because I feel like I've controlled what I can control and I can let go of what's outside of my control. So I worry about disappointing myself and the people around me who are part of my team probably the most.
Did that come from a young age?
That,
I'm going there.
Yeah.
Because
we'll go
I'm
there.
sensing it. Like I can sense that like this has been a long part of your life. Like stress has been a chronic thing for you.
Chronically Cautious.
Yeah, literally. That was totally not intended either. I just realized as I said it. But truly, like it sounds like this is something that has played an active role in your life for quite some time. So I'm curious if as a kid, were you always putting pressure on yourself? Like, was it from family pressures? Like, where did that originate?
I'm not actually sure. I'm the youngest of 4.
Okay.
And in school, I was a little bit of a piece of shit. I don't know if I'm allowed to say
yes,
that on
you
here.
Can.
But I was like a little bit of like the I don't want to say class clown, but I was more just like kind of just like I would just talk all the time, and teacher would like get annoyed with me, and I would always be trying to just like get people going and like make it so that it wasn't like an actively good learning environment. So I didn't necessarily put that much pressure on it in school. I definitely felt the societal pressure before Chronically Cautious of like feeling like I wasn't living up to what I should be living up to. Both my brothers work in great jobs and they're both businessmen and they both did the 4 years of college. And for me, I did a 1-year audio engineering program.
Mhm.
And I felt like after that, before Chronically Cautious did its thing, that I was letting down my own expectations for myself and people's expectations for me to do something cool with my life. And I felt like every time I would meet someone, I would feel the look in their eyes of like, "Oh, you're still doing the music thing, huh?" And I'm like, that feels shitty. And so I definitely felt that pressure a lot and the stress around that a whole lot. And that's what led me to write Chronically Cautious. And since then, I think because the numbers are so randomly out of my control, like I had no control over Elise Myers doing that thing that she did.
Yeah.
And I'm so thankful that she did that. And she's so lovely. And that was something that I felt like I put my best effort into making the music and I drove out to Nashville and I was like doing the thing and I did that. And then things outside of my control made it go better. But if she doesn't do that, the song will do a different thing and it could have done great and it could have not done as well. But either way, I have to focus on the success being the fact that I wrote a song that was meaningful to me and I put it out and I put my best foot forward. And then whatever happened outside that was out of my control and that makes it easier to explain the successes and explain the failures. If it's like, maybe not explain them, but if it's outside of my control, then it's
Do you feel like
easier
you
for
have
me.
to justify it?
I have to justify it, yeah. Because
Yeah.
if I can say the word I failed, then there has to be something that I did wrong. And if I did everything right, I can't call it a failure. And I think that that comforts me a little bit.
Yeah. So in choosing the non-traditional path,
Mm,
what was that like for your family, considering your brothers went the traditional route?
yeah.
Were they receptive, or was it more so like the family friend or the acquaintance who are like, "Oh, you're doing that"?
It was everyone outside my family and outside of my like close circle, which was really
Yeah.
interesting. My parents were so supportive and they saw me working hard at home and like in my home studio and they never like shat on me for my goals. And I'm honestly like looking back, I'm very surprised about that because there's no way we could have predicted what was going to happen. But they were always so gung ho about me not stopping. Like there was times where I was considering like, should I go to college and keep doing music on the side? But like, should I go to college and just go to the school I got into? And they were like, don't do that if you feel like you can if that's not what you want to do and you want to keep working at this thing, take 1 or 2 more years, really give it the try and then leave. And it was really interesting in the moments that I was just starting to doubt myself and to give it all up was when they would step in and just be like, "No, I think you've got this," and just keep going. And so it's really nice to be able to celebrate that with them now that it's gone better than it was
Right.
going, you know?
Right. So walk me through that. Then you were going to Nashville.
Yeah. So I went to LA last year in
Okay.
November and I lived in my car for a month just doing sessions and just working with people. And I used to produce all my own stuff as well. So I was producing for people and writing for other people in LA. I just wanted to know if I also worked at a studio in Toronto. So I wanted to know if moving to LA and like working at a studio and getting my visa that way would have been beneficial to me to build other people's songs as a producer and like kind of climb my way up that way. And so I went to LA to see if doing sessions was beneficial or if it wasn't. And then was there for a month, did that, and then went to Nashville in February. And that was when everything just kind of
Yeah, this
happened
was
for me.
2022, right?
Yeah, end of November 2022 is when I was in
November
LA.
20.
And
Got
then
it.
February 2023, I went to
Oh my God, I
Nashville.
can't believe it's still been this year that all this
Yeah, that's
happened.
all like within the past year.
Oh my God, how do you even like process? How this is?
It's insane. It's not fathomable. And
It hasn't even been a full year of
yeah,
this whole ride. I mean, for you, it's been a long time, but for
mm,
the public to really get to know you and learn who you're all about and your music, like
yeah.
that is still fairly new.
Yeah, Chronically Cautious. So I started taking TikTok seriously in February of 2022, and Chronically Cautious did its thing in February 2023. So it's really just 1 year of actively posting on social media every single day, is what led to that. And it's weird having it all be new. I will say, it's strange. Also, um, just the fact that nothing about me is different, and nothing about what I'm doing, especially with social media, is different at all from when it was getting 10,000 streams versus when it's getting 28 million. It's the same formula. It's the same, just make a song, post it. And it's so strange to be seen from my peers as like less than. And then for a minute, everyone's reaching out. And then like the way that people have treated me over the course of this year has changed so drastically from month to month. And it's really insane to watch. And it really just makes me want to cling to the people who are closest to me. And that's it.
I was going to say, are you keeping receipts? Are you keeping notes of
Let's I'm trying not to, but it's just like it's been so wildly different every month. Like every up and down, people come and go. And that's also been like kind of hard.
Yeah.
So
Was that your experience? I know your song Pick Me Up
Mhm.
relates to your experience in LA. Were you feeling that as well, that people were fleeting, relationships were fleeting?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And when you see people like I was fresh to Nashville when that happened, and you see everyone kind of reach out right away. And then if you reach out to those same people when there's less going on, some of them don't respond and some of them are too busy now. And some of them, like it's the weirdest part was there was so many people also that I had reached out to that didn't want anything to do with me. And then were like, hey man, by the way, let's get a session or whatever. And I'm like, it's not that I want to be like, nah, fuck you. Like I'm too cool for
Yeah.
you now. But it's just like the way that your perceived value can change is unhealthy, I feel like. And it's especially in an industry like music, it's really strange to watch it like fluctuate.
The industry can feel very transactional.
That's exactly the word I'm looking for, is transactional.
Yeah, and it's something that I think everyone navigates, and everyone in their own time reaches this light bulb moment of understanding it,
Mhm.
and has that similar realization of, oh, I just want to keep my people close to me. Like
Yeah.
that's who I need to keep close. And
Yeah.
the people that are meant for you will gravitate towards you. At least that's what I believe.
Mhm.
But the industry can very much feel like I am only worthy for a moment or a
Yeah.
second or a song.
Yeah.
I'm curious, what were your expectations of the industry prior to getting signed?
I like I wouldn't my expectations of the industry were that it was I just thought it worked differently.
Mhm.
I don't know exactly what I was expecting, but there's definitely like being signed has been great. And being signed honestly has not been anything like what I expected being signed to be, in like a very good way. But nothing about the industry has been what I thought it would be, in the sense that, like, for one, like in general, people don't have your back. And that's hard to know. In my case, with my team and being signed, that has not been the case at all. And that's been the part that I didn't expect, is you hear so much about everything. I will say that the industry is very unprofessional in a great way that I really enjoy. And again, this is not me talking about my label, but this is just everyone in the industry is kind of similar in a way that like professionalism and being proper isn't there's no stress on that.
You don't have to wear a
I
suit.
love that. You don't have to wear a suit. You don't have to you can swear pretty much anywhere you are. You can really just be yourself and be very individualistic, and people won't give you a hard time.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. It's very accepting of those types of things. But yeah, the transactional is definitely the word that I wasn't expecting it to be so transactional.
Yeah. Yeah. So how are you navigating like the pressure you put on yourself versus, you said you have a great team around you, but I'm
Mm.
sure you had expectations for the EP and for the tour and all these different things. What is the voice in your head telling you?
About my expectations, or um it's kind of different for each aspect. My expectations have been exceeded in many aspects, and I have been let down in others. And the voice in my head tells me that it really matters that they've been let down. And I'm trying to just not have any expectations moving forward, you know?
Yeah.
And I think it's more important to just go with the flow and try to be yourself as much as you can, and let go of the outside validation. Because expectation is just, there's a quote that I like that says, expectation is just preconceived resentment.
Hmm.
Or maybe I fucked that up a little bit, but we'll
makes sense to me.
maybe throw it on the screen. Yeah, it's like if the minute you preconceived disappointment, I don't know. But the minute you set an expectation, you're allowing yourself to fail. And if you don't set one, then you will not fail.
Do you feel like your health needs to be scheduled into your day? Our morning coffee, our supplements, our skincare, we're limited on the products that help us maintain a balanced lifestyle in an easy, healthy, and convenient way. So our friends at Neuro Gum Mints did exactly that with their nootropic blends that enhance your health and wellness into something intrinsically convenient, affordable, and portable. We at More or Less have loved these energy and focus mints with a patented formula of B vitamins, L-theanine, and natural caffeine to give us the energy and mental endurance necessary to stay focused and energized without the crash or jitters. I've been hyping up Neuro for quite some time, so I'm super excited to partner with them for another season of More or Less. If you'd like Neuro by your side too, use the link in our description and use code MORE OR LESS for 10% off your first purchase of Neuro Gum and Mints. So one of the things you said you needed more of is communication with your loved ones.
Yes.
Have you felt disconnected over the past few weeks heading out on tour?
Yes, and it's more than just the last couple weeks heading out on tour. It's been a consistent theme for me as I've moved away from home. I'm awful at staying in touch with people.
Okay.
And I've felt that wear down on me in different times where I'll get so wrapped up in what I'm doing that I know that everyone in my life, I don't actually know what's going on. And then I can feel weird about reaching out to people when I haven't in so long. So it's like kind of a double-edged sword because I don't reach out because I just forget about it. And then I'm like, damn, I haven't reached out in so long. It's weird if I do now, you know?
Yeah.
But I just feel like I'm at my healthiest when I reach out and it's hard for me too. And so that's just been a battle over my whole life, I feel like.
What scares you in reaching out?
I have a tendency to not want to bother people. And like, I typically don't want to reach out without good news. And so, especially when things go poorly, I don't want to report my failure to my people. And so sometimes it's like, if I haven't reached out to like my brother, for example, in a while, and then there's a moment where I really need my brother, I don't want to call him needing something from him. Like, even if it's just an ear or like a shoulder to cry on or whatever, like, I feel like if I haven't called him with the good stuff and then I call him when I need him, it makes me look like a piece of shit. So then I just like won't call, and then it makes it worse sometimes.
Yeah, but then
you know?
that's a never-ending hamster wheel.
Yeah. It is definitely a hamster wheel.
Because people want to pour into you, but you have to give them the chance to.
That's true.
And if you close that door, it's within your control. I mean, we're talking a lot about control here.
Yeah.
And you have the power to reach out and seek support when you need it for the good and the bad.
Yeah.
But if the door's closed, the door's closed.
That is true. Gotta open the door.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
You gotta open it. Because I definitely think this is probably a wild time and like needing people in your corner in any facet in your life, but like your early 20s, like that's a really formative time. And I think when, we're talking about finding your people, you want them to be part of your life. And I understand the hesitation because I too feel like I don't want to be a burden on people.
Yeah.
But I also know when I do reach out, I feel so much better.
Yeah, I do feel better.
Yeah. And you're in your own head and you're in your own way when the outcome can be even better than you anticipated.
That is true.
But
Yeah.
alas,
we still don't sometimes. And it's still difficult, but that's great advice though. I think I should just reach out more.
Yeah. I mean, tomorrow's World Mental Health Day, so there's going to be a lot
Wow.
of like infographics around like checking in with your people and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's all well and good, but I think we're in a place where there's mental health awareness and then there's taking action around your mental health. And I think the action is usually like, okay, how am I prioritizing myself? How am I prioritizing my relationship? So
Yeah.
give it some food for thought.
Absolutely, I will.
Yeah, because that's important, especially, I mean, you're going to be on the road for a lot of this year, the rest of this year.
Pretty much the rest of the year. Yeah, a couple weeks off. But we go back out in November.
So a couple of dates in October with Cian.
Yeah, a couple more. So we got like another week. We're in a week and a bit. And then,
Amazing.
So I'm done with Cian the 18th. I've got a thing the 19th. And then I'm back on the 20th. And then we leave, I think, the 21st of November. So we got like a month off.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the year will be
Nice.
touring, which I'm pumped for. I love touring.
Did you expect that you were going to love it so much?
I expected it, yeah. And I was really scared that normally when I have an expectation, it doesn't meet it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it does meet it. Like, I do really enjoy it. It's definitely, I like it so much, and I'm just the opener now, that like when I am actually doing like people are there for me, it's gonna be like, what is going on?
Yeah.
So I'm really pumped for that. And I feel like I want to be somebody who's on the road at least like 6 months of the year. Like I want to tour until the wheels fall off. But that's just me.
Now, you've been working on this live show for a while because you said you were practicing like months ago for this.
Yeah, it's about a month that we've been practicing. I found out that I was going to be on the Cian tour like right before we announced it. So that was really cool. And right away I was like, I've got to do this well because it's my first tour and I didn't want to I didn't want to bomb in front of everybody, like back to back to back to back to back, because it's 10 shows in 12 days. And I was like, that is gonna be the worst 2 weeks of my life if I don't practice this hard.
Yeah.
So I definitely did a lot of preparation.
I'm seeing so many artists like sing while they're on the treadmill and just a lot of stamina.
Yeah.
Were you, in terms of a fitness perspective, because I want to ask you about your health and wellness routine, did you feel any pressure of like, oh, I have to be really in shape for this? Like I have to be vocally prepared? Like we talked about before we were recording about cutting out drinking. And did you feel like that was a non-negotiable for this tour, given it's your first one?
Absolutely. I felt like anything that would damage my voice, I had to get rid of. I was working out, like not like the craziest workouts, but just focusing on eating healthy and not drinking was a huge one, and just cutting out all nicotine. I wasn't like vaping or anything, but just making sure I was completely sober all of the time and getting sleep and eating right and taking the vitamins because I did not want to get sick. And just practicing 3 times a day. Like to practice a 30-minute set 3 times a day, you really need to keep your voice in good shape, because you can lose it if you don't. And if I am tired, my voice is worse. And if I like all of those things, being healthy means your voice is probably good.
Right.
And so keeping myself healthy was really important for this. So yeah, I was doing kind of all of the above for that.
Do you anticipate any roadblocks like getting in the way of that? Like that would throw you off in terms of routine?
Yeah, it's hard on tour. It's very difficult, especially when you're like driving from place to place. And then it's been hard to eat well, because after the show too, you're hungry, and like Sweet Green isn't open at 1 a.m. right? So I love Sweet Green. But
what has been your post-show meal then?
I'll just get like I try to get the smallest thing that'll make me not hungry before bed from like a fast food place. So one day I got like a chicken sandwich from Wendy's.
Okay.
And then yesterday I got a McDouble. Like it's not good stuff.
Does that count as real chicken?
No. I should say just something between 2 pieces of bread from Wendy's. But it was it's not healthy stuff that I'm eating after the show. So I should buy more food during the day and then just eat it after the show. That'll be the smarter thing to do.
Yeah.
But
I'm sure it's, trial and error. You're learning. It's still very, very new.
Yes.
And I'm sure, you have friends that have toured and could pass along advice here and there.
Absolutely. Another thing I did was when I came on tour, I had chicken in the fridge and I didn't want to throw out the chicken. So I brought a thing of chicken thighs with me. And anytime I get like a fast food thing, like I got a cheeseburger from McDonald's, added like sauce to it, threw a chicken thigh on it, eat it. So it's like good meat with the same fast food that you love.
With crappy
body doesn't even know it's bad for you. It's good.
It's a balance, right?
It's a balance.
It's all balance.
It's real meat, so it can't be that bad for you.
Oh my God. Braden, I want to talk about, when Chronically Cautious first came out, a lot of people were really moved by it from a mental health perspective. Is that something that feels authentic to you in terms of like mental health advocacy and talking about mental health? Where is your perspective in that?
It's been difficult for me because I'm not the most mentally healthy person. So that aspect of it has been hard. For people to look at me and be like, what do you do to fix yourself? And you're like actively not doing well. That can be hard to I feel like if I am to speak on it too much, I'll lead people astray. But it's strange to have that happen while I'm trying to figure out, like, all of this stuff has been pretty wild, and it's been already difficult enough to keep myself in like a good enough spot. So I tend to try and give my own advice of what I'm doing at the time with a grain of salt, because what I'm doing to fix myself kind of changes all the time. Like I stay pretty mentally fit, I would say. But like the stress absolutely gets to me. And like to me, I just like, my advice is just work on the thing that is stressing you out. And I know that that's not necessarily the best thing, but that's the only thing that really helps me. And, that has also led me astray at times where I have to like stop working to feel better for like a couple days. But yeah, it's strange to be asked about it when you don't know the answers.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I don't think anybody does. And
That's
I think
true.
we're all a work in progress.
Yeah.
And I think people listen to your music and they sense the vulnerability, and then they attach that with like, oh, Braden's a mental health advocate, and he's really great at talking about this. But like you said, like, you're just figuring it out. Nobody really. Best advice I ever got was nobody ever knows what they're doing.
That is great advice. That is absolutely great advice. The advice that I will give to people that I do think is important is that you have to feel all of it. And that's the only thing is the only way you'll lose is if you stop letting yourself feel the things. Um, Other than that, I have no idea what to do.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know?
we're all just doing our best, and I appreciate you saying that because other people might sit here and say, "I did this, that, and this, and now
This, and
I'm
this, and you're
perfect."
fixed, and you'll be okay.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
again, like being in your early 20s and navigating that is a challenge in itself, and it can be really, really hard to A, take care of yourself, but B, then to talk to other people about taking care of themselves.
Yeah.
So it's really multifaceted, and I'm curious, like, what that experience will be like as you're now on the road and meeting people in person. They might feel compelled to like tell you about their mental health
Yeah.
stories. And are you having anxiety about that?
I love listening. And
Yeah.
I find it much easier to listen than to speak. And I feel like I learn the most through other people's stories. So I really love when people tell me stuff, and especially about really personal things that they're going through. I've talked to artists who really dislike that, but I find that for me, that's something I love, is that if I can hear about your pain and your struggles and what you've done, I feel like I enjoy that. I learn from that, and I enjoy trying to understand other people, because I feel like everybody has their own complex way of being, and just um, since everybody has their own formula of what works for them, the more I hear people's stories, the more I learn about the possibilities and the options and how to understand myself. So I love when people come to me with that stuff, and I know that that's not typically normal, but I love playing therapist on tour.
Well, it comes from a place of deep connection, right? Like
Yeah.
people are coming up to you and saying that because they they feel something when they see you perform or hear your music,
Yeah.
and that's their way of expressing it.
Mhm.
So I have heard both sides.
Yeah.
I've heard, oh my God, please don't tell me about that. Like I have to tunnel vision. And then I've heard the other side, like you said, where it just really reinvigorates your spirit to know
Yeah.
that you've reached someone in that way.
Absolutely. And the way I've always seen music is that it's a connection with a person. It's not a connection with a song as much in my mind. It's a connection with somebody else who's felt the same way. So I feel like if I'm bringing that connection to them and then they bring that back to me, it feels like a full, I don't want to say transaction, but it feels like a full circle
It's
moment.
reciprocal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
reciprocal. That's a better way to say it. So I love it.
Yeah. That's amazing. I really, really like that. Tell me what's next for 2024.
A bunch of new music. I'm gonna try and drop as much as possible. I don't know if I'll do an album.
Okay.
Really anything's possible. I'm gonna kind of take it a day at a time, and I'm working on the rest of 2023 right now, and we're gonna get through that, and then I'll see kind of what I'm feeling and what tour schedule will look like and what everything else will look like. So I don't know, but lots of music, lots of different kinds of music that's coming, and yeah, I think the 2024 is gonna be a great year.
Yeah.
So I can't. I'm gonna call it right now that it will be a good year, but I don't know what that's exactly
Speak
gonna
it
look like.
into
I'm gonna speak it into
existence.
existence. That's exactly
I
right.
love that.
I want to do my own tour in 2024, but we'll see if that's possible.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
You absolutely should.
Yeah.
Or at least in like
Couple
major
shows.
markets.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Oh, I love that. What was I gonna ask you? I totally blanked. What is one thing you've done today, this week, this month to take care of your mental health?
One is calling my mom. She's the one
Yeah.
person that I definitely stay in touch with the most, so that helps. Um, Also just like connecting with people around me in Nashville, like where I'm at. Stopping drinking has been great because it's forced me to really develop deeper one-on-one connections. Because I feel like if you're busy during the week and you go out and you drink on weekends, you don't necessarily get closer to those people through that because you kind of forget everything that happens anyway.
Yeah. And
Um,
it can be really surface level.
Super service level.
Yeah.
And so I found that without drinking, you do other things socially, and that's been really cool. Like I've started golfing a lot, and going golfing with people, you get to talk about way deeper things and like just really tap into who they are as a person. And that's made me feel a lot better, where it feels like now my hobbies are constructive instead of destructive.
Ooh.
So that's been really good.
I was thinking that when you were mentioning cutting out drinking, that your
Mm.
social circle changes when you make that decision.
Totally. Yeah. Like a
And
lot.
I think it's easier said than done to do that, right?
Mm.
But I feel like I'm hearing more and more artists particularly say that, I'm cutting out drinking for my voice and for tour and all these things.
Yep.
But I can only imagine that friendships really shift, just because I know from experience too, like I don't go out nearly as much as I used to. And I
Yep.
had going out friends that are no longer really friends
Yeah.
because that's
weird.
just not part of the week anymore.
Yeah.
have you found that, like, you found your community in Nashville, like, that's where you wanna stay?
Yeah, I think that not drinking has really helped me find that because it has showed me more people's, like, true colors, you know what I mean? And you're able to discern who's who more that way as well. I really enjoy Nashville. I find that it's very similar to my hometown, which is just a suburb outside of Toronto. I said Toronto weird. It's a suburb outside of Toronto, but, I love Nashville. It feels like home. That's also music focused, so I think that's definitely where I'm gonna stay. LA's cool, but I can't stay in LA. LA is, like, it's so cool and what's the word? Like, it's so crazy and vibrant and just insane that it doesn't feel like a real place, you
I
know?
agree.
Like, it feels like I'm in, like, a Star Wars world when I'm in LA.
I have often referred to LA as a bubble. It is its
Yeah,
own
it's its own thing,
universe.
and everyone's dressed up, everyone looks a certain way, everybody is, like it feels like the Hunger Games when they go to the Capitol. That's, like, kinda what it feels like to me.
This is the first time that someone has really agreed with me on LA.
Yeah.
The listeners know I talk a fair amount of shit about LA, and it's not anything personal. It's just that I can also not live there. It's
Yeah,
I can visit, I just can't stay there.
yeah,
But I've said the same thing that I feel the most dressed down person when I go into a Starbucks in
yeah,
LA. If
yeah,
I'm wearing jeans and a t-shirt, like that is dressed down, and I stand out compared to everyone else in
yeah.
the Starbucks because everyone's so done up. It's
Everyone's done up, everyone
very
looks amazing
strange.
over there.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's amazing and it's beautiful, but it's a lot of work to do all.
Yeah, every day.
Yeah, so it's definitely a place to visit, say hi, temporary, and then go back to home base.
Absolutely.
Well, Braden, thank you so much for
Thank you for
coming on
having
the
me, this has been so
show.
much fun.
Anything else you want to share with the listeners?
Um,
Stream Nomad,
Stream Nomad, Stream Hostage just dropped as well. And, I'll see you later, and
and go see Braden on tour.
come see me on tour, and if you see me anywhere on tour in public, come say hi, please. I love the human interaction, and, you know, I just love meeting people. So, stream the stuff when it comes out, and I'll catch you next time.